Hi, I'm Snez, personal trainer, healthy lifestyle coach, and your guide to feeling your best. This podcast is a segment from my weekly radio show, Wellbeing Wednesdays, broadcast live on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. It's all about sharing real, practical tips to help you move more, eat better, and live healthier without the overwhelm. Let's dive in, shall we? Coming up next, going to share the weekend the last Friday that I took out for myself. And I did something that doesn't come all that naturally to me, and that is stepping away from the hustle of work and family and giving myself a proper rest. And I went down to the Peninsula Hot Springs. I only planned it the night before. Look, I'd been thinking about it for a little while, and I just thought, no, you've just got too much on. You can't possibly take a whole day to yourself. And it came to the day where I didn't have as many appointments and as much on, and I knew I had my team that could cover the workload. And so it was quite a last minute decision. And when I made the decision, it was interesting how I felt. I felt that there was this little voice in my head that kept saying, well, you don't have the time to do that. You've got too much to do. What are you thinking, taking all of that time to yourself? Like, why would you even go there? You don't really need it. There was all of that sort of guilty, anxious talk, and that feeling of anxiety was about moving away from my normal routine. That was my warning sign, and that was my real reason to feel that I did need to go and spend some time away. And the thing is, I'd been feeling like that a couple of times. I sort of started to notice that if I did decide to take some time away from work or just hang out and, just spend some time just hanging out with the family, there's always this little voice going, well, you've still got to do that and you've still got to do this. And I started to feel that was any time that I was stepping out of my normal routine. And I will say that with the projects that I've been working on and just life in general, I feel it's been very full on over the last couple of years. To be honest, even since with business especially and trying to save business over beyond lockdown, it has been quite a big couple of years of working a lot. And even though I still do spend time with family, but there's always this feeling that I need to be doing something, whether that be working with family. I just felt like I was on this little bit of a wheel. And when I tried to take some downtime and I felt uncomfortable with that, I just knew that for me, something had to change and I had to do something, because one thing that I'm very big on is being able to embrace the uncomfortable when I'm either learning a new skill or meeting new people or trying something new and different. And I like to be resilient in that way. And I felt that resilience was going, and I was kind of in this cycle of just working and repetitive routines day to day. And the minute I stepped out of it, it didn't feel that good. So that was definitely a clear sign for me. So I've got this day, I can get myself covered. There's nothing that I had to do. And I was like, right, off we go. And the thing is, because we live in this culture where business is promoted or celebrated, and every spare minute that we have goes into working or the family or the to-do list that you've got. And when you actually stop, you can feel like you're falling behind. And that's where I just decided to take myself out of that environment. And the thing is that like I just caught myself falling into a negative pattern. And, it was being anxious if I wasn't being productive, or guilty if I wasn't maximizing every moment. And how I understand the nervous system is that was me being stuck in that fight or flight mode. And my stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline have been elevated, I would say, for some time. And over time, this can leads to more tension, poor sleep, anxiety, irritability, and eventual burnout. And my sleep is wonderful, and a lot of those other things are pretty good. But I knew that I was kind of heading in that direction. And the thing is it's not just mental about what we're thinking about it, but it's also our physical bodies. And that's what I really, really got. I really got that my my nervous system needed just a bit of a slow down, a bit of a reset, and just a calm down. And I decided to take that time to myself because I really felt that my body literally needed to rest and reset. And so when I got there, so I still got up early because that's my nature, but I wanted to get there super early. So I left home at 6:30 in the morning, but it was just great not to be in the normal work routine or doing the morning lunches routine or drop off or whatever it is our routine is. And then just driving out there, I left at 6:30 in the morning and basically saw the sunrise as I was going down there and just enjoyed that time. But it's interesting, when I got there, I was like, oh, do I really want to do this? You know, it's cold and, you know, do I want to get into my bathers and all of those questions. But when I first went in, like, that environment there is just absolutely beautiful. But what I found that I was doing was I was going from one pool to the next really quickly. It was like I'd sit in the one pool and I was like, oh, okay, oh, yep. Okay, yep, you've done that, and off to the next one. And it was like I was ticking off a to-do list and I could see what I was doing. And that was the overdrive talking. Even in relaxation mode, I still felt like I had to achieve something. And I knew that the longer I was going to be there, I was hoping that I could get rid of that feeling. But then I started to spend a little bit more time in the hot water until, you know, it sort of became a little bit uncomfortable. I did the contrast of the the plunge pool, and I did that 2 or 3 times. They said for, you know, best response, do the hot and cold 2 to 3 times. And I started to get into my groove and into my zen, as my husband put it. And I, you know, explored the areas. I felt very much enjoying the fact that I didn't have to be there in any timeline. Like, I could stay as much or as little as I wanted because I was there by myself, and which was really, really good. I went and found the relaxation tent and had a snooze for 15 minutes. So I was really entering this relaxed state, and I could just feel like my shoulders dropping. I could just feel that reset that I was after. And towards the end of the day, I could feel the difference because I was sitting in one of the pools. I think it was like the 39-degree pool. And I just felt like I was staring into nothingness. Like, I didn't feel that I needed to rush off to the next pool. I was just enjoying being present. And that's, you know, it took me a little while to arrive, and it took me a little while for the nervous system to settle down. But that was what I was looking for on that day. I was looking to get to that point where I didn't feel I had to be anywhere. I could just enjoy my body in that present moment and just experience what I was feeling. And the thing is that I understand how the body works and how important it actually is. And taking that time, even though it seemed indulgent at that time, it has really helped me to feel better in my day-to-day. It's definitely helped my body feel a lot better. I feel like there was a real element of recovery. And the thing is that chronic stress can be silent, but it's quite powerful, and it can drain our focus, it can affect our sleep, it can weaken our immune system, and it can make it harder for us to recover from challenges in our lives, or to even deal with or cope with challenges in our lives. And regularly calming our nervous system can reduce our anxiety and our stress hormones. It can support deeper sleep, it can lift our mood, and it can allow us to think more clearly and make better decisions. And it restores our energy, but also our resilience, so you can keep showing up again and again in our lives, because life does keep happening every day. And so I just wanted to share that story to even inspire you to take some time out and, you know, have a look at some of the things that you can do. But I'm going to take a quick break. And when I come back from the quick break, going to share some ideas with you in terms of the benefits of that hot and cold therapy. But if you can't get out to the Springs and spend a day there, because the reality is that I'm probably going to need that calm and that reset well before I'll be able to get out there for another whole day to myself. Just talking about taking time out and the importance of just bringing the nervous system down. And ways that we can do this is when I was down at the Peninsula Hot Springs, it was very much about going from that hot to that cold. And even though we think of spas and hot springs as being indulgent, there's a lot of research that does show that warm water therapy boosts circulation, it relaxes muscles, it lowers pain and inflammation. And that hot and cold contrast supports immune function, improves mood, and helps with your sleep. And more importantly, it signals your body to shift into a parasympathetic state, which is your healing and your recovery mode. So taking time out isn't just self-care fluff, it's medicine for your body and mind, and can make all the difference in your world and the way that you show up. Now, the thing is, and I mentioned it, I probably won't be able to get out there again before I probably need another reset or some time away. And we can't always get away and take that much time, but there are some simple things that we can do on a more regular basis to calm our nervous system. One of those things that's easily accessible to us is to do some deep breathing. Even 3 to 5 minutes of focused breathing can slow the heart rate and can signal calm in the body. So it's one thing that you can do. And whether it's just setting a timer for 4 minutes and just visualizing that breath coming into your body and then deep breath out, using the diaphragm to push out all of the air, or whether you do a 4 count as you breathe into the count of 4, hold to the count of 4, and then exhale to the count of 4, and do that for 3 minutes. Whatever modality you choose, a focus on breathing is always going to make you feel calmer. Some gentle movement, whether that's yoga, stretching, Tai Chi, or even just a mindful walk where you're looking around at your environment, you're enjoying the green, you can feel the sun on your skin, you can smell the leaves of the trees or the rain, whatever's happening on that day. Also, having a bath at home. It's a simple way to relax muscles and your mind. You can add in some Epsom salts, which will definitely relax sore muscles if you do have them. But also trying the cold exposure. There's lots of ways that you can do that. And that is just a cold shower. And I'm a big advocate and practice. I have it in my practice, which is a cold shower. And that is after warm shower. I'm not having a cold shower completely, but having a warm shower and then finishing off with the cold shower. Although after learning the benefits of going from hot to cold several times, I've been going cold for a minute, warm the body up again, and then cold again for another minute just to get that extra added benefit. But that's something that you can do. Now, I know there's probably a lot of you sitting, listening and cringing, going, I just can't do the cold. It's just too uncomfortable. You do definitely get better at it. It still is quite a shock to the body, especially if you are doing it in the middle of winter. But another thing that you can do is just splashing your face first thing in the morning with cold water. It's such an invigorating wake-up call, and it just feels so refreshing. So give that a go. Rather than sitting there and waiting for the water to warm up on the tap, just do the cold splash on the face. It definitely will feel good. Taking some time out as well. So sitting outside, enjoying the outdoors, enjoying the sun, even the coolness of a cold winter breeze just feels so refreshing and connects us to the earth and to the energy of the earth, which is very calming for us. Whether you want to walk outside barefoot, but let your senses settle in the environment. Taking some mindful breaks, scheduling pauses in your day when you're not rushing around. What I like to do is definitely just take a pause when I'm moving from one activity or wearing one hat to the other. So say, for example, this morning I was doing the personal training and then came inside, got myself ready, and now doing the radio. So before I come out here, I just pause and I just step into who I am as a presenter when I'm running this show, and just taking that time and just being quite intentional that, okay, that driving around, that rushing around to get here is now over, and now I'm setting into a different pace and who I want to be in that space and just being mindful. Also, an interesting one, which can be very relaxing to the body, is a weighted blanket. They physically cue your body to go into a rest mode. So, and I remember this one, and I really connect with this as a young person. I remember Mum covering us with these really old, these old Macedonian woven blankets, and they were just so heavy. And when you got in there, you just felt so squished. But that pressure against our bodies is quite calming, and it's something that you can do by either getting a weighted blanket or covering yourself up with a couple of layers, as long as you're not getting too hot. But these are all ways that we can, with zero cost in our day, calm our nervous system down and just enjoy some relaxed time. So what I learned after Friday is that taking time out is not just an indulgent thing for me to do for myself, but it's actually essential. And my Hot Springs day was a reminder that when I actually stop and rest my nervous system, I come back calmer, I'm more creative, I'm more resilient. And it's not just about me, but it also has made me a lot better for my family, my clients, my community, and people that I come in contact with day to day, even the people at the supermarket. So my invitation to you is start to pay attention if you're starting to feel anxious when you come out of routine or when you're not working. It could be your body just asking for some time out, and don't wait until you reach those burnout stages. So this week, just pick one thing, even if it's just a splash of water in the face first thing in the morning, or maybe a mindful walk or a bath, maybe just some deep breaths before you go to bed. Just give your nervous system that gift and yourself that gift of calm, because when you settle your system, everything else does get easier. Your health, your mood, your energy, your relationships. Rest is definitely not wasted time. It's actually fuel that I realised for absolutely everything else. Thanks for joining me on this segment from Wellbeing Wednesdays, as heard live on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone who might find it helpful, and subscribe so you never miss a show. Want to catch the live broadcast? Well, you can tune in Wednesdays from 12 till 2 p.m. on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM, or find my info on Wellbeing Wednesdays with Snez, the Facebook group. Take care, stay healthy, and remember, it's the little choices every day that create big changes. Talk soon.